troops have arrived at the ICE detention center in Broadview, some coming in overnight. The Trump administration says they will protect property from protesters.
WGN's Dana Rebick has the latest on this developing story.
They're taking one instance of tear gas being fired by CBP or ICE into a group of people, often unprovoked, and then making it look at, well, there's smoke and there are people running around and that's mayhem on the ground, and that's going to be the excuse to send troops in, or that's going to be the excuse to do more than they're already doing.
200 soldiers from the Texas National Guard now on the ground in Illinois, 45 of them moving from the Army Reserve Base in Elwood, south of Joliet, to the ICE processing facility in Broadview overnight. The Village reporting they arrived in 3 vans, which some of them slept in, saying in a statement, "We let them sleep undisturbed. We hope that they will extend the same courtesy in the coming days to Broadview residents who deserve a good night's sleep too." 300 federalized members of the Illinois National Guard are also part of the 60-day mission.
You have talked extensively about how threatened our ICE officers are, but all of our law enforcement out there. And we saw the shooting in Dallas at that facility, so we're hardening all of our buildings and making sure that we have more security measures, snipers on the roof, people to protect our law enforcement while they're out there on the streets. But
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem briefing President Trump on plans to expand operations in Chicago.
We're purchasing more buildings in Chicago to operate out of. We're going to not back off. In fact, we're doubling down, and we're going to be in more parts of Chicago in response to the people there.
I hope it works, and I hope that we do make our roads and villages safer for everyone, so that we don't have to worry about the violence.
My singularity in being here is not going to make a difference, but I know when this will be written about in history books, because it will be. And when it is, I want to know what side of the fence I was on.
A small group of protesters were near the facility Thursday. The mayor of Broadview requiring them to remain behind concrete barricades and abide by a curfew of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
There's no other reason that this could be possible, that they don't want to have a safe Chicago. And we can solve the problem very quickly. And we're doing that anyway, regardless of if he doesn't want it or if he does want it, we're doing it anyway.
Dana Rebick, WGN
Facts.
News.
I would say this, man. It don't matter if you want it or not. He gonna give it to you, and that's what I'm for. I'm pretty much for this whole thing. I can't say I'm not, because at the end of the day, I feel like we're trying to fight a notion as if Trump is the evil guy. He's helping the community, and then I like when WGN, they're left winging, but they'll report what they report. Now, look, you heard the guy. As long as it's safe and people can get home and everything, okay, so be it. Like, you're telling me they didn't put barriers up, a protester zone for people to protest, and they still go across that zone and still rioting. But it's the ISIS fault that they're hitting them with pepper balls when they come out of that vicinity towards the gates, trying to prevent them from going in and out the facility. Now, if the protesters would stay in that protester zone and protest peacefully, even if they throwing stuff, if you would stay in that zone, you wouldn't be too much of a problem. But that's not what they're doing. They put barricades up, and this is the state. The state prepared, the state of Illinois put those barricades up for that, so you can have safe zones. So the problem I have with J.B. Prister is, first, let everybody understand, J.B. Prister is the governor of Illinois, not the governor of Chicago. Unfortunately, he's been in Chicago majority of the time since he's been governor, and he's been talking only about Chicago. He sets aside the rules for the governor of he sets aside the rules of Illinois for the whole. He sets aside the rules of Chicago to the whole Illinois, right? Sorry, but the problem is with this guy is that you knew that there's a problem with the process. You can't say that the ICE is agitating the crowd when the crowd went to them. I'm not saying that they can't protest, but if the protest comes to them and preventing them from doing their jobs, they have to get them out of the way, right? They're the feds. They don't go by the same rules, right? And JB knows this. This is why they put the barricades up and say this is a safe protest zone right here. But did those protesters stay in that zone? No, because you can't control them, and they're going to do what they want to do anyway. But who are we going to give the blame back to? Trump for sending ICE in anyway because they're looking for illegal immigrants. That's their job, sir. Sorry, JB, but that's their job, right? I also want to add that now they have to send an National Guard. You heard what Trump said. By any means, rather if he is with it or not, we're sending them in. Because what we're not going to do is allow the citizens of Chicago or Broadview, because really, it's not even Broadview residents that are out there. Let me be honest with y'all. Y'all really want to know the dip? This is the 411 on it. It ain't even the residents of Broadview. The people that are actually at those protests are people that's coming from different states, liberal states, different areas, and then they're going to protest. These people don't even live here. They don't belong here. They don't live here. They're just doing that to agitate the government, to be a part of history, so to say. And that's the flaw. That's the flaw I see. They just want to be a part of history in the worst way. Let's protest for something that we know that they're doing illegally. You're acting like the feds are coming in, grabbing people up, and then giving them fake charges. They're not. They're looking for straight Tren de Agua and illegal migrants that are here. These are law-abiding, never have a criminal record. Hey, it was a crime when you came across the border. It was a crime when you snuck across that border, man. What do you mean they don't have any crime? No, they're not criminals. They became a criminal when they snuck across the border illegally and then tried to get asylum. So for JB, what he's doing right now, and I'll be honest, dude, y'all got to understand, and this is for the liberals and this is for the conservatives. What JB's doing right now is he's trying to turn basically the liberals against everybody else. You, even if you are, let's say, a Democrat, you might not even be for the illegal immigrants being here. But since you're on that side, they make it your problem. It's kind of like the LGBTQ. The LGBTQ wants to get rid of the TQ, because that doesn't associate with them. They don't even agree with what they agree with, right? But since it's LGBTQ, they have to all come together, even though the lesbian, gays, and bisexuals don't agree with the trans and the Qs. Quantum physics, I call it. Yeah, 2 places at one time. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, that's basically what Pritzker's doing. He's turning all Democrats against Trump, even though they just want the immigrants. The immigrants are going to be for regardless. The Mexicans are going to be for the lack of immigration, and they're against ICE. So they're going to try to turn the Democratic blacks, the Democratic whites, the Democratic Asians, all against Trump because of ICE. If they're here to do a job, set aside and let them do their job. That's really what you're doing. You're fighting them so they can't do their job. It's kind of interesting because I'm seeing it in real time. I'm sitting here in real time and seeing this. I'm like, wow, do we not see what Pritzker is doing? First off, he's losing his chances to become a president. I'm gonna be honest. So what he's doing right now is he's losing his chance to become a president. He's not going to be, but he has the best chances to be if he was going to. But he's losing his chances, though. That being said, just let the feds come in and get the people they're supposed to get. They're not grabbing anybody that's not supposed to be grabbed. When the last time you heard they grabbed somebody, sent them to another country, and deported, they had them go to court and had them deported after they due process? And then they were citizens. Other than that last guy that was technically Tren de Agua. He just happened to be a citizen, they said. Other than that, you don't hear that because that's not true. They're actually grabbing people up. And then the blacks are getting tired. So when I see a black guy or black woman out there protesting against ICE, I get slightly confused. Just slightly, ever so slightly. But I guess this conversation is going to continue for another day because this is not going to stop. The National Guard is here, and I'm glad they're here. I would say as a black man, I'm proud that Trump is doing what he's doing because he's not just talking. He's about action. He's warning you. It's like, stop your people from attacking my people. Stop your people from attacking my people. If you don't stop your people from attacking my people, I'm sending more of my people over to make sure they enforce that. If your people won't stop your people from attacking my people. CPD, I say. State Illinois Police Department. If they can't protect the federal agents, they have a law. For people that know, there's a law not to help or abide any ICE agents or federal agents. That means if they come over to the state of Illinois, do not help them whatsoever. Let them do their own thing. That was literally made because Trump got in office. All federal agents. Y'all got to open your eyes, man. It's your boy Savage. Let's stay lit. Let's get subscribed.